What's up, my comic comrades? With Peacemaker Season 2 being out and in the world and being the latest installment into the DCU, of course we had to talk about characters appearing in the TV series. And since last year we did a history of the title character Peacemaker, we figured this year we'd kick it off with an origin of his sidekick Adrian Chase, aka Vigilante. Now there's been several different characters to take up the mantle of Vigilante besides Adrian, such as Alan Wells, Dave Winson, Patricia Tracy, and more. But since Adrian Chase was the first and the one the DCU is focusing on, that's the one we're talking about. With that said, let's get into the origin of Adrian Chase, Vigilante. However, I will say you're gonna notice once I start breaking down his comic origin just how different he is in the DCU, as James Gunn made him more of a comedic character, much like he did with Drax in the MCU.
His people are completely literal. Metaphors are gonna go over his head.
Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast.
Gunn's version of Vigilante is absolutely hilarious, and since he's not as well known as characters like Spider-Man and Batman, I feel like he can get away with changing him. Either way, let's get into it. Adrian Chase first appeared in the New Teen Titans issue 23, and didn't appear as Vigilante until the New Teen Titans Annual 2. When we first see him in the New Teen Titans 23, we see he's a DA working with the Teen Titans on their recent Brother Blood case. He's currently annoyed with the Teen Titans as Blood had the press on his side, and because of that, it's making the Titans look bad. He even tells the Titans, "I want blood," but it feels like he's taking advantage of every blasted legal loophole they can find. Look, this file is filled with more than 100 crimes we suspect he's committed, but can't prove, or crimes he's legally squirmed his way out of. Do you kids understand me? I want him nailed. I want him to go on trial. I want him to pay. I want him to get the chair. But then people like you fall into his trap and turn him into some blasted martyr. It destroys everything I work for. Beast Boy then says, "Listen, we tried to cooperate." Adrian then says, "No buts. There's no excuse. Now we're going out there and you're going to say absolutely nothing," as Adrian takes care of the press. Now for the next several issues, Adrian will continue to help the Teen Titans. And in issue 26, he helps them break up a drug operation by the crime boss, Anthony Scarpelli. However, his involvement with helping stop Scarpelli would have serious ramifications, all coming to a head in the New Teen Titans Annual 2, which is also his first appearance as the Vigilante. On the very first page of the issue, we see Chase's picture on the news as a reporter says, "I'm Roger Daley, and here's the news in Manhattan. District Attorney Adrian Chase and his family were rushed to Mercy Hospital after their uptown apartment was firebombed by an unknown assailant." Adrian Chase, whose controversial no-nonsense methods were often criticized by his judicial peers, was listed in critical condition. At present, the police are withholding all information concerning his wife and family. We'll have a live report from Christopher Sands at the Chase home right after this message from Fish and Stick, the new sushi-flavored peanut butter. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing you're thinking. Sushi-flavored peanut butter. What the hell? Anyway, as Roger Daley throws to Christopher Sands, Christopher says, "The blast which savagely tore through Mrs. Chase's apartment was heard as far south as Fort Lee, New Jersey, and not only completely demolished the Chase apartment, but several others as well." Roger then interrupts Chris, saying, "We just learned that Batman's junior apprentice Robin had just left Chase's apartment moments before the blast occurred." As we see Robin appear at the hospital where they're bringing Adrian in for surgery. But before we continue with Vigilante, today we're ripping some Pokemon packs and giving away whatever we get to you. This giveaway is provided by our friends at Courtyard.io, today's sponsor. We've shown you Courtyard.io's fun comic mystery pack vending machine before, but today it's all about the Pokemon cards. What's up, guys? I'm on Courtyard.io. I'm about to go on their Pokemon vending machines to get one of their packs and see what I get. So we just click this on the home page. We go to Pokemon right here. On the top, it'll bring you down to all the packs they have for Pokemon. We're gonna do the $50 pack right here, the Pro Pack, and hope I get a Charizard. It's my favorite Pokemon. All right, guys, here we go. My pack has just flown out of the vending machine. Let's see what I got. Clicking. All right, come on, Charizard. You know, Pikachu, Mewtwo. I'm a fan of a lot of Pokemon. Oh, that is awesome. A 2023 Scarlet and Violet 151. Dude, this is awesome right here. A 9, dude. Yeah, this is a good card, and it's gonna be yours. We're gonna go to the Pokemon Master Pack. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna see what I open up right here, what I rip open. Let's see. It gave me the pack. Time to rip it open. We gotta click to reveal. I like how it says inspecting corners. That's really fun. All right, click to reveal. What Pokemon are you? What are you? Nice, 2003 Pokemon Skyridge right there. PSA 10 Gem Mint. Man, the sellback is $144.86. This is a pretty pricey card, but I think I'm gonna give it away to one of you. Their vending machine lets you buy a digital mystery pack, which is an unknown graded physical Pokemon card of various values. But instead of waiting for the card to arrive in the mail to find out what you got, you find out what it is instantly. And then from there, you could have them mail it to you, hold it, trade it, or accept a 90% instant buyback offer based on the fair market value. Again, we're giving away everything we pulled today. To enter the giveaway, all you have to do is drop your Courtyard username in the comments below, and winners will randomly be chosen on September 5th. And if you use our promo code Variant15 on your next Courtyard order, you'll also get 15% off. Not only does Courtyard have Pokemon cards, they also have comics and sport mystery packs starting at $25. Just click below for more info. All right, back at the hospital, the other reporters start questioning Robin, saying, "We heard rumors that you and District Attorney Chase both performed a vigilante-style raid on the home of the mobster Anthony Scarpelli. Is that true?" Robin says no comment before getting mad and yelling at the press. Long story short, we find out that Chase's wife and 2 kids did not make it. However, Adrian does. Now at this point, since Robin and the Teen Titans have been working with Chase to take down Scarpelli, Robin starts a one-man war on Scarpelli as he killed Adrian's family and almost Adrian. It gets so bad that Starfire has to pull Dick aside, being like, "Look, you need to calm down and make sure you don't do something you're gonna regret later." Now, while all this is going on, Adrian disappears with the Teen Titans not knowing where the hell he is. And that's how the issue ends, which leads to the events of the new Teen Titans Annual 2, which just so happens to be his first appearance as the Vigilante. And after his first appearance in this series, he would be given his own solo series, which lasted for 50 issues. In this series, we see Adrian Chase return to Manhattan as the DA, but at night, he would take up the mantle of Vigilante, taking down criminals who the court systems couldn't or didn't. However, by issue 7 of the series, we would finally be given his origin of how exactly he became Vigilante. His friend says, "Remember yesterday, you were finally going to tell us how you became the Vigilante." Adrian responds, "I wasn't I, JJ? I've never believed in mysticism. I'm not a religious person, hardly spiritual. I've got a logical, ordinary mind, so I can't believe what I think happened to me." Terry says, "Think happened? Don't you know?" Adrian responds, "Terry, I wish I did." He then tells them, "Please don't laugh. What I'm going to tell you is what happened as best as I can remember. I make no claim for its accuracy, okay?" He then starts saying to them, "A figure led me away," as we see a cloaked figure lead him away after his recovery at the hospital. He continues to say, "We drove west, but I was never told where we were going. And strangely enough, I never pushed for an answer. I was content simply sitting, watching the landscape speed by. I don't quite remember how long it took. I don't even remember where we spent the nights. In the van, a hotel, it could have been anywhere. But then I was told we had arrived. When they get out of the van, Adrian asks the figure, 'Where are we? There's nothing out here, nothing but dirt. Where have you taken me?' The cloaked figure says, 'Your hands, Chase. Remove them or lose them.' As he put his hands on the figure, Chase says, 'Not until I get some,' but before he could finish, the cloaked figure just throws him over his shoulder before helping him back up and taking off his hood, revealing it's a woman, as she says her name is Lynn. She then says to him, 'Does knowing that make you a better person? Come on your feet here, we've got to talk.' Chase says, 'There's nothing out there for miles. Why walk when you've got a van?' Lynn asks, 'What van?' as the van has now disappeared. Long story short, they walk for a very long time in the heat of the desert, where it gets so hot, Chase eventually starts taking off his clothes to cool down, stripping down to his underwear. At this point, they arrive to what looks like a grave with a ladder that leads several feet underground into some sort of mystical cavern. When they both get down there, Lynn says, 'You're going back to school,' as they are greeted by 3 more people: Chaka, Bloody Knife, and Chastity. The 3 mystics, so to speak, then begin to assess Chase, as Bloody Knife says he will not do. Chastity says, "I sense his strength." As Lynn tells Chase, Chastity says that about every man. She's actually wrong. Chastity then says, "Adrian, please listen to us. You must succeed for all of us. You must succeed." Chaka then says, "Chase, what we offer you is power. The power to make a difference. The power to do good. Too often throughout history, innocent victims have suffered while the guilty was set free. Too often the powerful have escaped justice because of laws, however well-intentioned. Laws inadequate to deal with real life and all its complications. Evil killed you, Adrian Chase. You might have been one more casualty of crime. I failed at what I was before because laws meant to help the victim aid the guilty instead." Chase then says, "Yeah, I'll join this, whatever it is," as these 3 mystics say it has begun. We then see them begin to train Chase in combat, weapons, and acrobats. Captions from Adrian then say, "I begin their training, and it was only the incessant pain that forced me to realize this wasn't some heat-crazed nightmare, but an incredible reality." As we see, he becomes incredibly fast, proficient with weapons, and strong. At first, his training is extremely tough and he does not succeed as he's supposed to, but in the end, he finally starts showing massive improvement. As his captions say, something was suddenly different inside of me. 6 months of special training, 6 months of cellular rearrangement, 6 months of tortures and painful nightmares suddenly came together. I had changed. The fire I always avoided. This time I didn't turn away. This time I would succeed. As he sticks his hand in the fire, but his arm heals. As he says, there was pain, but the burning flesh reformed. As they say, he has passed the test, Lynn, as you said he would. Your selection was a good one. He'll make an excellent addition. He has passed the test. He will be one of us. Come to me, Brother Chase. Give me your hand and learn our final secret. When he does, he says, my hand's going right through you. Bloody Knife says, although we can become solid, this is our natural state. You see, my friend, my brother, all you see beside you are dead, slain in ages past, victims of evil who are not content to gratefully die. Bloody Knife then tells Chase, since the dawn of time, greed has claimed the lives of innocent victims. Victims of those ravenous for land or for other equally meaningless possessions. And all too often, the victims go unavenged, and the crimes unpunished, or worse, rewarded with freedom and wealth. Almost 2,000 years ago, something occurred beyond any ordinary understanding. A society was formed, created by the victims of injustice. Those who had died a bloody death, but refused to peacefully die. Our spirits lived. We searched the world to find those who would avenge the victim. We trained them as we trained you. Had you died as your family died, your spirit would have been brought to us. You would have become a teacher. But your body lived, which is why we came to you to act as one of our agents. You are a special one, honest, dedicated. Your life has been spent protecting the innocent. We need your kind. The world needs your kind. Tell us you accept. Tell us you will be one of us to walk again with man to protect the innocent from the guilty. Chase says, my wife and my children are dead. There's something in me that says I can't go back to being what I was. This may be an answer for both of us. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm sure of it, but I accept. The ghost then says, you have our trust. We only ask that you take it to heart. As they disappear, he says, what if I need you? How do I find you? When will I see you again? They say, when you join us forever in the teaching of others. And with that, Chase is brought back to Earth, or back from the spiritual realm, however you want to look at it. In the present, we see him telling his friends this, saying, they were right. I made mistakes. I became more of an avenger than I should have, perhaps. But the mission I've undertaken demands a certain ruthlessness, not always acceptable in polite society. He then suits up in his vigilante outfit, saying, one day I'll find them, and I'm going to do it right. And just like that, you have the origin of Adam Chase Vigilante. Now, as far as powers and abilities go, in the comics, Chase has a slight healing factor given to him through the ghost that trained him. As he full-on says in Vigilante issue 6 months of cellular rearrangement, which allows him to heal as demonstrated on the very next page when he sticks his hand in fire and his flesh heals. So again, he has a slight healing factor, but besides that, he has no other superhuman abilities in the comics. However, he is an expert in hand-to-hand combat, as he was trained by those ghosts we talk about to be their champion, so to speak. He's also a weapons master and at the peak of human conditioning, and he's very tactical, being a district attorney. Because of this, he has a sharp legal mind, which is strategic. Mixed with his combat skills, this makes him extremely deadly. He's also very good at stealth, moving silently and able to sneak up on people, giving him an advantage in a fight. Not to mention, he has a very high pain tolerance driven by a need for justice. So he pushes through the pain to bring down evil. And he also has a motorcycle to go from point A to point B, which he uses for his war on crime. Oh, and I can't forget he has infrared goggles and shock-proof armor. But there you have it, guys, the origin of Adrian Chase Vigilante. He was amazing in season 1 of the Peacemaker, and I can't wait to watch him in season 2. I have high hopes for this season, and apparently episodes 6, 7, and 8 are going to have massive ramifications for the DCU going forward. In any case, let us know what your thoughts on Vigilante and Peacemaker are down in the comments. Other than that, we will see you next time when we talk about all things comics.